And we are live. This is UFC on Fox 29, Poirier versus Gaethje. This is Ricky.
What's up, guys? This is Justin, and before we dive right into this card, we'll talk about, what a recap for last card. Khabib went out there and, dominated Quinta, but, he did show some holes in his striking that I think, Ferguson and McGregor could definitely take advantage of. Betting wise, I think I went 1-on-1 with Herrick losing to KK, and then Grits, looking like a beast out there. I think I was like plus 1.78 units, so that's 6-card winning streak in a row. And I wish Chiesa would have stayed in the card because that was easy money, but is what it is. And yeah, man, Grits just went out there and really just took it to Lozon, showed that Lozon has no business in the UFC anymore. So what about you?
Yeah, so I had 3 units on Grits. I'm pretty sure I was the one that told you about it. I'm pretty sure you were on Lozon at first, and then
I picked Lozon pre-tape, like before I watched tape, and then after I watched tape, I was like, yeah.
I told you Grits was live.
You did, man. Yeah, you did.
3 units Grits, and then I also had 3 units on the over for the main event. I had a feeling it was gonna go over. I was even close to betting Khabib with the decision because it was like plus 400, and I know Khabib is not really a finisher, and Al's pretty tough, so I had a feeling it was going to go the distance. But yeah, man, I think Khabib dominated. It goes to show he did get caught a couple of times, but I don't think that it'll be enough to lose. I think he'll just dominate Ferguson or McGregor. He'll take him down the first 2 rounds easy and kind of get him tired. And he pretty much zaps everybody's strength after that. Al had nothing in his hands anymore. Khabib outboxed Al, and he's not a boxer. So I don't know. It just goes to show. I think his grappling is a tough puzzle for anybody, and I will definitely be going for Khabib over Tony or McGregor. Khabib's easy money, man, especially against Tony.
I think he's easy money. Actually, I wouldn't say easy money, but I do think
I would only be worried about Conor because of his striking. Conor's striking, he can KO anyone, but I don't think Tony has that power.
I think Tony has a way better chance than Conor, to be honest. So, Tony actually has a ground game, and we'll be talking about this for half an hour, man. Because it was such a good fight. It sucks it happened. Honestly, I don't know if Tony's going to come back, man. The injury, I don't know if you saw the picture on Instagram, but it looks pretty serious. I think he's going to be out at least a year. And he's getting older too, man. So who knows how he's going to look. I'm a big fan of him. I hope he comes back. Maybe they'll give him, an easy fight. But, he's #1 contender, man. So he'll probably be getting a very good fight when he comes back. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah.
Before we move.
I went I think I went plus 8 units for the night or something like that. So it was a great night.
That was good, man. Yeah, we both cashed. Like I said, I think I was plus 1 point something. I think 7.8, but whatever, man. It was a winning night for both of us. So let's move on to Glendale. We got a good card on free TV. And first fight of the night, we got Luke Sanders versus Patrick Williams. And this is, a jobber fight, in my opinion. I don't think Luke Sanders is that impressive. He likes to drop the ball. He goes out there and, wins the first round against Sukhamatov and then gets knocked out. And then he goes out there and smokes Yuri in the first round and gets subbed. So, just can't count on this guy. And Patrick Williams, we like to make fun of him because he might be the worst, guy in the division. But make no mistake about it, man. For the first round, he's a beast. It's like a truck. He's definitely hits probably in the top 5 in the division, hardest power wise for a round. But then he gasses out. I did say he's one of the worst fighters in the division, but I do think he's live. He definitely has a very good chance of winning this fight. And I'm going to go out on a limb here, but I'm picking Patrick Williams. I think he's going to go out there and knock out Luke Sanders in Luke Sanders' hometown. Luke Sanders is just a head case, and I really see Pat Williams, getting a big win here. And Pat Williams actually has, a better win out of the two. I'm pretty sure he beat, Alejandro Perez, and that was pretty sure that was in the first round. Yeah, it was. And Alejandro Perez is no slouch, dude. So, yeah, man, I got Pat Williams. I think he's gonna go out there and Sanders doesn't like to get hit, dude, and he's chinny, and I think Pat Williams is gonna go out there and pressure him and hurt him, man, and get a knockout. So, don't tail on me in this. I won't be betting him. I won't be putting him on DraftKings, but he's live. So I got Pat Williams, and I think the under is a good line here too. I think the under catches. What about you?
Yeah, so I'm probably gonna have to go for the other way. I'm probably gonna have to go with Luke Sanders here. I think this is his fight to win. I just think Patrick Williams is losing to everyone. He lost to Duke and Wob, Chris Beal. I mean, who's Chris Beal? He did the only person. I mean, he's beat Alejandro Perez, but that's about it. I think Luke Sanders is going to get his first win in the UFC with this one, so I'm going to have to go with Luke. But not confident at all. All right, next fight we got Alejandro Perez versus Matthew Lopez. Perez, he's kind of a weasel, but I'm going to have to go with the American here. I don't think the weasel is going to be good enough to get the win this time. What about you?
Yeah, man, I got the weasel here, man. He's also the underdog. He's a tough out, man, for a lot of people. He's definitely a top 15 guy. I mean, he's really hard to,
No,
fight.
definitely not. Definitely not top 15.
I think he is, man. I mean, he has good footwork and he wins decisions. I mean, Matthew Lopez is going to have to go out there and, win a decision, but I don't think he's going to. And I don't think he's going to put Alejandro Perez away. Matthew Lopez trained with Justin Gaethje. He's an aggressive fighter and he's sloppy, man. I mean, he goes out there and, gets hurt a lot. I mean, Mitch Gagnon dropped this guy. And Mitch Gagnon is like the worst fighter, dude, in the division.
He still won that fight. He still won that fight, though.
He did, but who is he?
He's only lost to Rafael Assunção and Hani Yaya, and those guys are legit, man. I think he's beating the better people. He beat Johnny Eduardo.
Better people.
Johnny Eduardo.
Johnny Eduardo was terrible, man.
Who has Alejandro Perez beaten?
Better guys. Sukumatov is better than those.
Sukumatov sucks, dude. He had that guy hurt, and he was going for takedowns, man. Sukumatov might have the worst fight IQ in the division. So
yeah, but I think Sukumatov would beat both those guys for sure. I mean, Yuri Alcantara. I mean, Luke Sanders could even beat Yuri Alcantara. I mean, Alejandro Perez beat Yuri, so Yuri would smoke. Not smoke, but he would beat Matthew Lopez in my opinion. I don't think Matthew Lopez is a jobber by any means, but I really think that Perez is no slouch. He's not a jobber at all.
He's 28, man. How are you gonna say he's top 15? He's number 28.
Perez is like 6-1 in the UFC. His only loss is that fluke. Look it up right now. That only loss is that fluke against Patrick Williams. He's no slouch, man. I mean, he's not really impressive anywhere, but he wins those decisions, man. I mean, he has very good footwork. He trains at AKA with Khabib, Daniel Cormier. I mean, I honestly think that this guy's, no slouch. I'm not saying he's a beast or anything, but he's a top 15 guy in my opinion. And I don't think Matthew Lopez is there yet. He has a lot of holes in his game. He is a good wrestler. He's a young kid, but the dude just got, smoked in December by Assunção, and I think he's coming back a little too soon. Maybe it's November. But yeah, obviously I don't think Perez is going to, knock him out, but I think Perez could easily win a decision. And Lopez is going to have to finish him to win this fight, and I don't see it. Perez is, a very tough dude. I mean, Sukumatov dropped him 3 times, couldn't even finish him. So he did. And Matthew Lopez, he gasses, man, really bad too. I mean, Justin Gaethje, I mean, obviously, like they train together, but they don't have the best cardio, man. So I think Lopez is going to have to go out there and get it finished. He gassed against Ronnie Yaya too, and Ronnie Yaya is the guy that gasses every fight. So I just don't think Lopez, has what it takes to beat a guy like Perez. I don't think he's a jobber by any means. I think Lopez could beat Luke Sanders, but I think you're thinking Perez is a jobber, and I don't think he is. He's a weasel. He's like Cajun Johnson, but way better. So
we'll see Saturday.
Yeah, I'm picking Perez, man. And I mean, I thought about playing it. I'm actually not, but he might be a good DraftKings play because I think he's going to go out there and get a decision like he always does, and score on points, probably out volume into. So I got Perez, you got Lopez. Next fight, we got Arjan Bhullar versus Adam Wieczorek. Adam Wieczorek cashed for me last fight against Anthony Bumbleton. It was pretty sweaty. I mean, he didn't look that impressive. He's a tough dude, but it's a very bad matchup for him because, Bueller is really good wrestling. He's an Olympic wrestling wrestler. And I think he's just going to put him on his back the whole fight. So, yeah, I got the favorite. I think that he's actually a good prospect in this division. I think he can go far. And thanks Wisereck, man, for catching that play. But you're not going to beat a guy like Bueller. So, yeah, I got Bueller. Easy money. What about you?
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you on this one. So I'm gonna go with Bueller too. Easy money. I think his wrestling is just gonna be too much to handle for Adam, and he's gonna dictate where the fight goes with that wrestling. So Arjun Bueller with the dominant decision, probably maybe even the finish. Tommy versus Diego Lima. I'm about to go with Lima on this one. Knocked out a few times, but I think he's washed up. He's got his foot out the door, and you can kind of tell when he fought OSP, man. He pulled guard. He just doesn't want to be in there, man. And I think Diego Lima is a little bit more motivated. He still has a few more fights left in him, and I think that's what's going to be a lot more here. I think Okami's on his way out, and he's just not the same guy anymore. A lot of people think he still is, but I don't see him winning at all. I'm going to go with Lima on this one. What about you?
Yeah, man, I'm going the other way, man. I got Okami. Lima has a terrible chin. It's just bad, man. I mean, I just really think that a guy like Okami could even, knock him out. I think Lima might be more technical, but I do think that Okami has the more power. And Okami, is good in the clinch. I think he could back him up. And yeah, I know he went out there and, dropped the ball, got into SP, but that was at 205. I mean, this is, Okami's debut in welterweight in UFC. He's definitely going to have some size on Lima. And I do think that he's going to touch that chin. I think Okami has a better chin as well. And Lima, man, just is mental with him, man. The dude just, I don't know what it is, man. He's good in the Ultimate Fighter, but when he fights in UFC, even in the win that he has in UFC, he got rocked. I mean, the guy gets hurt every fight. I mean, Okami actually, has a decent chin, man. So I think, I do think Lima has the better grappling, but he doesn't really use it in his fight. So if Okami goes for a dumb takedown, yeah, he might get tapped out. But I'm gonna be picking Okami by knockout, but I'm not confident. I won't be playing it. But speaking of confidence, next fight we got my first play of the night. We got Shauna Dobson versus Lauren Mueller, and yeah, man, I got 3 units, man, on Mueller. She actually opened at minus 190, and she went to plus 100 for maybe 10 minutes, and I didn't play it then, but then she went to minus 105, and I played it minus 105. I think she's at minus 110 now, but yeah, I think she's better everywhere here, man. She's super well rounded. Trains at Alliance with Cass and Gano, you know, Angela Hill, and I do think that she has a good wrestling advantage here for sure. I mean, Roxanne Modafferi went out there and smoked her, dude. And, showed that Dobson has no ground game at all, and Dobson, won her fight, in the tough finale against Ariel Beck. But I mean, Beck's so bad, dude. She has a losing record, just terrible, man. If you watch Mueller's fight in the Contender Series, she took it on a 1 week's notice. She went out there and fought a bantamweight, and she's actually a natural flyweight, and then 30-27 her, man. I mean, she looked really good in that fight. She's aggressive, good striking, and she didn't really show her wrestling, but I mean, she has wrestling if you watch the fights before that. And I think that she's gonna mix it up here, and I think she actually might finish option. I think she's more technical, and I like her style, man. She's a brawler, dude. She comes after it. She wants to finish you. She's not, well, a lot of those girls always get those weasel decisions, man. I mean, she's a finisher. And I just don't think Dobson has what it takes to be in the UFC. And I do think Mueller has potential. And I was hooked, man, whenever I watched that Contender Series fight in August. I mean, I was looking forward to her debut, and here's her debut, man. So a long time later, but, I think she has what it takes, man, to get a big win here. So I'll be playing her on DraftKings as well. And I got Mueller, man, by a second round sub. I think she's going to get her down and tap her out. What about you?
Yeah, I got Mueller. I didn't do much tape on this. I didn't do much tape on this card though, on this fight though, because yeah, I don't really care much about him, and I'm gonna have to go with Mueller though, just because she's got the undefeated. But it's hard how you can be so confident on these chicks, man, when their record is so shitty, and they fought like nobodies. So hard to tell who's a better fighter. I'm gonna go next fight though. Let's go Gilbert Burns versus Dan Moret. Gilbert Burns, I think his grappling is very good. A lot of people are a lot of people don't like him that much, but I think he's pretty good. He knocked out Jason Sago. He got lucky because he was gonna fight OAM. I think OAM would have smoked him, but he's getting lucky now because he's fighting a nobody. And so I'm gonna have to go with Gilbert Burns on this one. What about you?
Yeah, I got Burns too, but I'm not confident. Like, I won't be betting it. Obviously, I'm not going to be having him on my DraftKings. I don't think the dude is that impressive. I will say he's not a jobber. Obviously, he's a tough dude. He's very hard to put away. He's a punching bag though. Striking, yeah, he knocked out Sago, but Sago is pretty bad, man. I mean, Burns is not that good in the feet, and obviously he has good ground game. Go ahead. What?
Brazares is a beast, man.
No, I wasn't talking about Brazares. I wasn't even talking about Brazares.
But that's when he lost, though.
That's a pretty good fight, man. But yeah, Burns just doesn't have, I don't think, good striking. I think he gasses. He's a tough dude, but he has a good ground game, but that's about it. I'm not high on the guy at all, and I think there's a good amount of guys that can beat him. OEM would beat him. Tamer would smoke him. So yeah, man. I got Burns, but I'll be looking to fade him soon. I was actually going to be playing OEM versus him, but they're probably not going to fight now because OEM's going to get a pretty big fight probably next. But yeah, I'm not impressed with Gilbert Burns. But Moret, the guy. I mean, he's like known for like a guy that likes to go for submissions, and that's a terrible matchup against Gilbert Burns. So I don't think he has what it takes to beat him on the feet. So yeah, I got Burns, but I'm not confident. So next fight we got Krzysztof Jotko versus Brad Tavares. This is a very intriguing fight, man. I'll be playing on DraftKings. I do think that it's going to be a striking fight for 3 rounds. I don't think I think it's going to go to decision. Both guys are tough. Let's talk about Jotko. You could say Jotko's on a decline. He's on a 2-fight losing streak. He fought David Branch. It was a very close fight, but he looked off in that fight, man. I did score for Branch. Jotko just looked off, and then against Uriah Hall, I actually bet him against Uriah Hall. I actually bet him both fights, to be honest. So I'm 0-2. He went out there and I mean, dude, destroying Uriah Hall in the first round, then just gassed out, man. I mean, blew his wad and got finished, and I mean, it was sloppy. He looked very sloppy out there. He showed that his cardio is not the best. And Brad Tavares, he's been looking good. He beat Elias, in a close fight. Then he beat the ghost to Tallest Waities. I think Brad, has a good jab. I think he might be more technical. Ground game, I don't know who has the better ground game. I think Jotko has the better wrestling, but Tavares, might have the better. I don't know, man. I don't think it's going to hit the mat. That's the thing. I think it's going to stay on the feet. You got to give the edge to Jotko with the speed. I think Jotko's the faster guy. More volume, I don't know. I mean, who has more power? I mean, they don't really have power, so it's a very, very close fight. But I'm gonna have to go with the underdog here, man. I think Jotko's in, his back's against the wall. And I think he's going to have a very good performance and beat Tavares. Tavares is a little chinny, too. I know Jotko just got knocked out against Hall, but make no mistake about it, Tavares has been knocked out against Boetsch, Whitaker. So, I mean, I do think Jotko could hurt him, but then again, Tavares could hurt him. But Tavares has the better cardio, too. But I just think the speed for Jotko is going to be a huge advantage here. I think he's a lot faster than Brad Tavares. So, yeah, man, I got Jotko, and I wouldn't be surprised if he got late takedowns, in the late rounds. So I got Jotko by a 29-28 decision. What about you?
I'm going to go the other way. I got Tavares here. I think he's been looking very good recently, and to me, that's pretty big. Jotko, like you said, he's on a 2-fight losing streak. They both have a common opponent in Laitis, right? They both beat him. I think, however, Tavares is getting better and better, man, every time we see him in the octagon. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's better on Saturday night. And I wouldn't be surprised if he comes out the winner as well, because Jotko, like you said, he's on the decline, man. he's looking worse and worse every time we see him. So man, I'm gonna have to go with the guy that's on form, the guy that's been fighting good, the guy that's been looking good, and that's been Brad Tavares. I mean, he completely dominated Elias, and he smoked him pretty badly. It was
No, he
kind of
did
nice to
not.
see. Yeah, he did, bro. Like everything he did right. Like stuffed every takedown, reversed them, outstruck them.
He didn't outstrike Elias. You kidding me right now? He did not
Landed the more
outstrike Elias.
devastating. He landed the more devastating shots. Way more devastating shots. Like
He didn't even hurt Elias.
Hurt him badly.
It was a close fight, man. Like honestly, like it was a close fight. Like I think it could have gone either way, man. So.
I mean, he completely smoked him, and
Elias outstruck him, had more takedowns too, right?
He just looked great that fight.
Elias outstruck him, had more takedowns. I hope you know that.
But he reversed every single takedown. Like, come on, dude. When did he ever actually get him down?
He scored it at 29-28 for Brad, but I mean, I thought it was a very close fight. Yeah, it was.
I thought he won every single round, in my opinion. Like,
I don't think so.
Like the judges must have really liked him or something that day, because like he should have. It was a 30-27, easy money.
I wouldn't say he smoked Elias. I'll tell you that. If he would have smoked Elias, it would have been domination. I mean,
it was pretty much.
Elias didn't even get wobbled one time, dude. I mean, Elias threw more volume than him.
He hurt him badly.
He hurt Elias? Are you kidding me? The only person that's ever hurt Elias is Thiago Santos. I hope you know that. And he didn't even really hurt him. I mean, did he get dropped? No. Yeah, Brad won the fight. Brad won the fight, I mean, good job. It was, I mean, it could go either way, obviously, but I still think Elias, man, had his moments in that fight, and I just don't know how you can say he smoked Elias as he didn't.
Elias did not have any success in that fight, dude. No success.
Yeah, no success when you outstrike the guy and have more takedowns. Okay. I mean, that's how you win a fight.
Dude,
by volume.
Henning Barral outstruck Kelleher according to that fucking strike count.
He didn't know. He didn't know. If you watch the fight, man, Elias showed he had more volume.
If you watch the fight, you can see Elias's doesn't land. He hits at air, and like his that's his strike. It sounds like a slap. Okay. It's no. That's pretty much his kick. It's like a little kick. It's like a little slap to the thigh. It's it sounds more than it stings.
The fact that you're saying that Brad smoked him, I just don't buy it at all, because he didn't. He did not smoke Elias. It was a very close fight.
Dude, he did everything right. He smoked it, man. Do you think Elias would beat Jotko?
Yes, I would.
All right,
100%. I would bet Elias versus Jotko all day.
And Brad smoked Elias. So MMA Matt says that Brad Tavares is going to win the fight on Saturday.
Brad did not smoke Elias, man. And we can talk about this for like 3 hours. He did not smoke him. He won the fight, whatever, man. But I mean,
yeah, he did. Dude.
No, he didn't. It was a close fight, for sure.
Well, in my opinion, he smoked him. So I think he's gotten a lot better every time, and I'm gonna have to go with Brad Tavares.
All right, man. Call the next one.
Next fight is John Moraga versus Wilson Hayes. Moraga, Wilson Hayes is just coming off of that loss from Henry Cejudo. Cejudo really put a number on him. He looked like a karate champion that fight, and he really smoked him. Moraga is coming off of 2 wins in a row. He came off with an impressive upset against Magomed Bibulutov, knocked him out in the first round. I don't think anyone saw that coming. I think that was a big parlay buster for a lot of people. And Wilson Hayes, on the other hand, he's coming off of 2 losses. Like I said, one off of Henry Cejudo, got knocked out in the second round to a body shot, and the second to Demetrius Johnson. I don't know, man. If you ask me here, I think Moraga's live, and I think he's going to get another upset here. I got Moraga. What about you?
Yeah, I got Moraga too. He needs to keep it on the feet, but he definitely has a better striking. Wilson Hayes is an older guy on the decline, super chinny, and I mean, he's just his chin. I feel like he gets hurt every fight. You know, Moraga does have, you know, issues, you know, when it comes to grappling. He doesn't have the best takedown defense. So Wilson could definitely, you know, take him down and hold him down. But it's Moraga. It's basically striker versus a grappler, kind of like the next fight, you know. But or not the next fight, couple fights. But yeah, I think Moraga's gonna win. And Moraga's definitely, you know, changed some stuff. And I mean, he beat a beast, man. I mean, it's not like that was like a fluke. I mean, he beat like a very, very good prospect that was beating everybody, like dominating them. And Moraga went out there and just smoked him. So that's when you call smoke, not Brad Tavares against Elias, because that was a very, very close fight. We can talk about that all night. And yeah, you can call me biased all you want. I'm a Elias fan. I bet on Elias, but I'm so bitter about that because I bet on Elias and I thought it was a close fight. But whatever. Congrats everyone that bet Brad out there. But yeah, back to this one. I do think that Moraga's going to go out there and get the upset, but I won't be playing it. So next fight, we got another fight that I'm maybe a little bitter about. We got Muslim Salikhov versus Ricky Rainey. And I actually max bet, you know, Muslim with Kelvin Gastelum. And yeah, that was a terrible bet because, you know, Alex Garcia went out there and just dominated him. And you know, Sakharov's, you know, his striking didn't look that good, man. And I mean, I was impressed with the tape, you know, but and I didn't think Alex Garcia was that good, but you know, Garcia impressed me, man, in that fight. And most of them just did not look good on the feet at all. Ricky Rainey, you know, he's making his debut. He's been around for a long time. You could say it's a good matchup for, you know, Muslim because, you know, it's a striker versus striker. Ricky Rainey doesn't really have, I guess, you know, grappling. He has trips, but that's about it. But he has like a 10-inch reach advantage. And I mean, he's beating some good fighters, man. So I'm gonna have to go with Rainey, man. I think he's gonna go out there and, you know, get the upset. And I just don't trust Salikhov after that performance, man. I mean, he looked like a joke out there. He did not look like the guy I watched tape on. So yeah, I'm going with Rainey. What about you?
I'm gonna go with Muslim, but I'm not confident at all. Next fight, we got ACJ versus Tim Boetsch. Tim Boetsch is shows some very weak takedown defense against Jotko. He's just coming off of an impressive KO win though against Johnny Hendricks. Pretty sure I bet him there, you know, fading Hendricks because he's on his way out. I mean, you can't really count out Boetsch because of his knockout power. He's so strong. He's very capable of knocking out pretty much anyone. You know, he's knocked out Johnny Hendricks, Rafael Natal, Josh Salmon. But let's be honest, he's also one to get knocked out himself. I mean, he's been knocked out against Ed Herman, Dan Henderson, got subbed by Souza, got subbed by Latis, subbed by Rockhold. So he does have you know, a weakness to these submission guys, dude. So yeah, I don't think this is an easy fight for him. I do think he's live because of his knockout power, but that's about it, man. He's got his puncher's chance, and that's really all he has, a puncher's chance. ACJ, on the other hand, man, he's looking better and better every time. You know, he had that loss against Dan Kelly, but I think he's learned a lot. You know, I think he's learning to put it together a lot better. He's coming off of 4 wins in a row. I mean, he subbed Jack Marshman, Eric Spicely, Leandro Guimaraes. I mean, he was able to take down Spicely. He was able to take down Marshman pretty easily. Marshman has pretty good takedown defense. So, I don't know. I think he's going to be able to take down Boetsch pretty easily just as well. When has Boetsch showed good takedown defense, man? Souza's not a very strong wrestler, and he took him down pretty easily and got the sub almost at will. So I think ACJ is pretty much capable of doing the same thing. I think he's going to get the takedown and get the sub. I don't think Boetsch is going to last very long in there. And yeah, man, he's a success. He's been subbed a lot, man. And ACJ is a black belt like champion, IBJJF. So he's going to be in trouble in there. And he's got a puncher's chance. That's about it. So I'm going to go with ACJ because he's the more technical guy. What about you?
Yeah, before we talk about the matchup, Jack Marshman has terrible takedown defense. He gets taken out every fight, and that's why he wanted to drop the welterweight. It's a small middleweight for sure, and Tim Boetsch is one of the biggest middleweights. So okay, about the fight, yeah, I got Tim Boetsch, man. I have 3 units on him, and I think it's a good matchup. I think it's a close fight, obviously. I mean, not a close fight. It's a striker versus grappler. I mean, both guys have how the way they can win the fight. It's if Tim Boetsch gets taken down and held down, he's going to lose. I mean, Carlos, that's where he wants to get the fight. But if he keeps him on the feet, he's going to knock him out. And I do think he has good cardio, too. He actually, I think, has better cardio than Carlos Jr. And I think he can knock him out in the first round. He can knock him out late. Boetsch is really, man, turning around. He's won 3 of his last 4. And, yeah, he got knocked out against Dan Henderson, Ed Herman. But, I mean, that was a different Boetsch. That was a Boetsch that was, like, fat when he showed up. This Boetsch has been looking in very good shape. And, I mean, yeah, I know Souza took him down, but I mean, Souza's a way better fighter than Carlos. I mean, I do think Carlos has pretty good grappling, and if he goes out there and goes for the takedown right away, I mean, he could get him down. But I mean, I just don't know if he's going to. I think he's going to go out there and maybe test his striking a little bit, and I hope Boetsch goes out there and sprawls like he has been before. I mean, I don't think Boetsch has terrible takedown defense. I mean, yeah, he's been subbed against elite guys like Rockhold. Rockhold's not elite. I'm talking about elite guys in grappling, like Rockhold's very good grappling, and Souza. I mean, you could say Carlos Jr. is on that limit getting there, but I don't think he has there yet. I don't think Carlos Jr. is, a Souza right now. So he has good grappling, but we've seen holes in his game. I mean, the guy, obviously he lost to Kelly. That was like 4 fights ago, but he does gas. His striking's not the best. And I do think Boetsch has the better striking. I think Boetsch is a brawler. I think Boetsch needs to make this a war. And if he does make it a war, I think he's going to win because he has the better striking. And I just, he needs to keep him feet. Because if he gets taken down, I'll be sweating, obviously. Because if he gets taken down, he might get tapped out. But if he gets right back up, I think he's going to really frustrate Carlos Jr. And I think, the longer the fight goes, you got to get the edge of the Boetsch because Boetsch has very good cardio. He's a comeback king. We've seen so many times that Boetsch came back from a fight. I mean, Brad Tavares, Okami. So, I think, like I mentioned, it's all about what Boetsch shows up. If he shows up, fat, like when he fought Ed Herman and Dan Henderson, he's going to lose. But if he shows up how he, won his last 3 out of his last 4, he's, in very good shape. I think he's going to win. So it's all about stuff in the takedown. But I had to take the shot, plus 235 because he's super live. And I do think Boetsch is, right around that top 15. I mean, he's a tough out, man, for a lot of these guys. So I got Tim the Barbarian Boetsch by first round knockout. So next fight, we got a very close fight. We got Michelle Waterson versus Courtney Casey. And there's a lot of people out there shitting on Michelle Waterson, man. And yeah, man, I mean, I don't think she's, going to be ever carry the belt, obviously. But I think Courtney Casey, man, is just a head case. I mean, the girl has the worst fight IQ, in my opinion, in the division by far. And you can't trust the girl, man. I mean, she has decent jiu-jitsu. I mean, she swept Herod, and she's kind of good off her back. But, I mean, just the stuff she does, dude. I mean, she was beating Joanne Calderwood in the feet. Then she went for a flying armbar in Moss position. I mean, Jessica Aguilar dropped this girl. I mean, Jessica Aguilar is like one of the worst fighters in the division by far. She took her down multiple times. I mean, I'm not confident ever in Courtney Casey. You don't know what Casey's going to show, what she's going to do. So I'm just a lot of people are out there thinking Courtney Casey's going to smoke her. And yeah, Casey has the size advantage. I mean, she should beat Michelle Waterson, but I don't think she's going to. I mean, she's going to find a way to lose as she always does. And I think Michelle Waterson, is I think she has the speed advantage. I think that a lot of people are saying that she's chinny, but I mean, when has she ever been hurt? I mean, I think she got dropped against Rose. That's it, but she's never been knocked out. Maybe one time before the UFC, but I just think the speed's going to be too much, and I think she's going to frustrate Courtney. I think she can take down Courtney Casey too. The size advantage worries me though, but I mean, Courtney Casey doesn't even really use her reach though that much. I mean, she's just a weird fighter, man. And I just don't think Courtney Casey's that good. I really don't. And I think Waterson's better. And I think Waterson's passed against the wall. And I was thinking about playing Waterson, but I'll be passing. But I want to let all you guys out there know that Courtney Casey is just mental, man. She's just not good enough for me to bet. So I'm picking Michelle Waterson, and I hope she looks good here, man. Because I'm just not impressed with Courtney Casey at all. What about you?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you, man. I'm not impressed with Courtney Casey at all. Like, I don't understand why everyone's shitting on Waterson so bad. I don't think she's as bad as people are saying. She's got pretty good technique, in my opinion. She's got good karate, good striking, and her grappling's not that bad, man. She went her throw on Paige Van Zandt. I mean, and the back take was pretty good. If you ask me, Rose did walk through her, but Rose is a champion now. She's a beast. I don't know. I think Michelle is kind of getting slept on here, and people are kind of disrespecting her. I think she's the more technical fighter. Courtney Casey's going to have the size advantage, but I do think Michelle has a technical advantage. Yeah, man. Courtney Casey does have some good grappling, though. She's got some good sweeps off her back, so she might be able to get the submission. I don't know, man. Who knows? She might have better grappling than Waterson, but I'm not sure. Maybe that's just jiu-jitsu wise, because I do think Casey's like a purple belt or a blue belt or something like that. I don't know. Waterson probably white belt or blue belt. But she does take the back very well. I'm sure she's pretty good no-gi. I'm about to go with Waterson as well. Next fight, we got Israel Adesanya versus Marvin Vettori. It's Adesanya's second fight. He just finished the one Australian guy. Forget his name, Wilkinson or something like that. He was shooting for rest. He was trying to wrestle him for his life. Adesanya was able to defend a takedown, get back up, and get the finish. Man, his striking's very impressive, man. He doesn't seem to use very much energy either. I am worried for Vettori because he does show the gas, and I think he's going to gas against. I do think he's going to gas against Israel. I do think he's live, although I do think he's got the grappling advantage. If he does grapple him, he has a chance. But if Israel keeps it standing, which he had a chance of keeping it standing, I do think he's going to get the finish eventually, just because the striking is next level. But Vettori is live, I think the line is off. There's no way he should be at plus 200. This is a grappler versus striking match. And if Vettori can get it down, he has a good chance. But fight starts standing, and I think Israel is going to be able to keep it standing. So I'm going to go with Israel. Probably get the finish.
Yeah, man. Yeah, when I watched tape, I was on, Stylebender. I thought he was going to open up maybe plus 110, plus 120. And then when I saw the line, I was like, what? Like, how the hell is Vettori at plus 265? So I went back and watched the tape again. And I mean, it's just so disrespectful, man, to see Vettori that big of a dog. And I had to take a shot on Vettori, man. I mean, the more I think about it, he does have a very good shot. And he needs to use his wrestling and that grappling, because if he doesn't, he's going to lose. But, I mean, I think I don't buy the whole interview like, oh, he's going to test the striking now. I mean, he has a huge advantage here, man. I mean, Stylebender, he's been taken down by Rob Wilkinson, I think, 2 times. Yeah, he's still good at game, but Melvin Guillard took his back. Melvin Guillard, I mean, come on, dude, Melvin Guillard's a lightweight. So, I mean, Guillard, and if freaking Vettori takes his back, it's over, dude. Vettori has a very good ground game, nasty jits. I don't think his striking's that bad. I don't think it's on the level of Stylebender's, but, I mean, Vettori, he's aggressive. He has good body kicks. He does gas. He gassed versus Miranda. He gassed versus Omari. I actually thought he beat Omari. I don't think that was a draw. I mean, we've seen this guy, with more experience, and I don't think Israel's gonna knock him out. I mean, Vettori has a very good chin. He's never even been dropped one time, but I will be worried if Vettori doesn't get him down, because I do think Stylebender has the better stand-up. But it's kind of like the Boetsch fight, striker versus a grappler, and Vettori needs to use that grappling in jiu-jitsu, because if he does, he's gonna win this fight. And you saw what Vettori did to Carlos Jr., man. I mean, that second round, I mean, he got on top, he took him down. And he almost finished Carlos Jr., man. So I got
sure Vettori. Carlos won the fight, right?
He did, but I mean, Vettori showed some holes in his game, and Vettori was on top of him the whole second round. I don't know if you know that, but the whole second round, Vettori was landing.
What about the other 2 rounds?
Carlos Jr. won, but I mean, we're not talking about Carlos Jr., are we? We're talking about Stylebender versus Vettori. So, I mean, I honestly think that, Vettori has a good chance here, man. I mean, he just needs to use that grappling. And we saw what he did against Carlos when he was on top. He weighted some heavy shots, and I think he can do the same. I think obviously Carlos Jr. is a way better fighter on the map than Stylebender, but I mean, we haven't really seen this guy's grappling. I mean, he gets taken down, but what can he do? I mean, what's going to happen if Vettori gets him like a tough position? Is he going to just tap, immediately, or is he going to fight out of it? So, I mean, I'm going with the underdog here, and I do think he has a huge advantage on the mat. And there's levels of this sport, man. I think that he has a huge advantage on the mat, and that jiu-jitsu is nasty, man. So I got Marvin Vettori, and it's disrespect to see him at a plus 235 dog because he's a good prospect, man. I mean, he hasn't beaten the best competition, obviously, but
he's not a prospect.
He's he's 24 years old. He's like 4 years younger than Stylebender. Vettori's the younger guy here.
I didn't know he was that young.
Yeah, he's 24 years old. He's 24, and he has the more UFC experience. Oh, one more thing I didn't mention too is he's definitely has the size advantage too. He's jacked.
I don't think he's a future world champ.
I don't think either guy is. But Stylebender, yeah, he has good striking, man. But Vettori is not dumb. I don't think. I mean, I don't think that Vettori has bad striking. I think it's decent. I don't think it's on the same level as Stylebender, but I think he should know that he has a big advantage here, and he has a huge size advantage too. Stylebender could fight at welterweight, in my opinion. I mean, I'm pretty sure the dude walked in the scale at 183 last fight. Vettori is fucking huge, dude. Vettori is definitely the stronger guy, dude. So I do think, man, that he could. I think he could maybe just. I don't know if he's gonna freaking ragdoll him, but I mean, I do think that we'll see who the stronger guy is. I think it's gonna be Vettori. So. Yeah, I got the dog. Next fight, we got Cowboy Oliveira versus the ghost of Carlos Condit. Yeah, I got Cowboy here. I do think that he's better everywhere. I don't like the line. Obviously, it was like minus 150 or better. I'd be playing it, but Condit just doesn't want to fight anymore. I mean, the dude, Damian Maia hurt this guy on the ground. He retired. He came back and fought Magny. I mean, Magny dominated him that whole fight. I am worried though with Cowboys. He didn't take that much time off with that beating against Yancey. He broke his nose. Got dropped like 4 times in that fight. But I mean, I think Cowboy has more ways to win, obviously, and I mean, Cowboy's not gonna tap him out. I mean, I'm sorry, Connor's not gonna tap him out. I mean, Howboy's been topped out like 3 times, I think, but I don't think Condit has any submissions. Maybe one like a long time ago, but if anyone gets a sub, it's going to be Howboy. But I mean, I think Howboy could either do 2 things. He could fight smart and mix it up and just take him down, or he could just brawl. And if he brawls, he's going to smoke Condit. But I mean, or he might just take him down. So I just think whatever Cowboy does, he's going to win, unless that beating really caught up to him and he just looks like a shell of himself like Condit, and neither guy throws. But I think he has more left in the tank. So yeah, I got Cowboy. What about you?
Yeah, I got Cowboy too. He's actually my only play of the card, play of the night, minus 200, three units. Yeah, I just don't like the card for betting wise, man. And to be honest, I just don't see it. It just looks like a lot of tricky plays here. Anyway, I think Oliveira smokes him. He can beat him, brawls with him, or if he decides to take him down. Condit is just not the same guy anymore. I would have been max bet it, but like you said, Oliveira it is kind of a quick turnaround, so that is a little concerning. But I'm not concerned enough to not bet it. So I think Oliveira is going to smoke him, no matter where it goes. If he decides to brawl or if he goes for the takedown, and I think he is going to go for the takedown this fight. And to be honest, I don't think Oliveira is the kind of guy that gets scared out there, man. Even though he did come out, he did just have a war. I don't think that's going to change him. I think he's going to come out strong, and he's going to get the finish. So let's go Oliveira, 3 units. All right, main event. We got Justin Gaethje versus Dustin Poirier. Justin Gaethje has 2 fights in the UFC. His first fight was against Michael Johnson. Second fight was against Eddie Alvarez, and they were both brawls. They were both wars. Thing about Justin Gaethje is that he likes to war. He likes to have wars, and I don't really know how long that's going to last him. It's not very smart to have a long career to have those kind of wars. Using your head as a as your defense is not a good idea. He does have a good chin, but as he goes to show, is if you get caught like Eddie Alvarez caught him, you're going to sleep. So did Eddie Alvarez change his life? We don't know. We don't know yet, but we're gonna find out on Saturday. Eddie caught him with the nasty knee. It was a back and forth war before that, though. I do think Justin Gaethje was starting to get the better of him because of those leg kicks. There was a point where Eddie Alvarez kind of pulled guard. So those leg kicks are, and then at the end of the fight, Eddie Alvarez was able to land a knee and knock him out. It was a pretty close back and forth fight, man. It was a pretty close war. I think this fight's going to be a war too. We got Dustin Poirier, who is kind of chinny, in my opinion. Got knocked out by McGregor, got knocked out by Michael Johnson, who's someone that Justin Gaethje finished, by the way. But Dustin Poirier is coming off of an impressive win over Anthony Pettis. He's looking pretty good in the 155 division, except that loss to Michael Johnson. But yeah, man, Dustin Poirier. I think he's got the better boxing though. If he decides to keep it a fight, he can get the win. He just can't brawl with him, and if he keeps, and he's got the better boxing though. So I'm going to go with Dustin Poirier. I just hope he doesn't brawl. The one thing about Dustin though is that he does like to brawl. So, but even if he decides to brawl, I think he's got the better hands. So I think he's going to outland him. So I got Dustin Poirier. I just hope his chin lasts. But that's why I can't bet him, because it's going to be too sketchy. But I probably will play him in DraftKings.
Yeah, man. I got my last play tonight. I got 3 units on Dustin at I think plus 107 in the distance, and you can't really trust MMA math nowadays. And I mean, it was a way different Michael Johnson. The Michael Johnson that beat Dustin Poirier, that was before the Khabib fight. I mean, in my opinion, Khabib changed his life. And I mean, you saw Michael Johnson and versus Justin. I mean, he just didn't look like the same guy. And then the last fight against Elkins didn't look like the same guy. So I think that Michael Johnson, if Michael Johnson would have fought Justin Gaethje, during the time he fought Dustin, you would have beat him too. And his hands are too fast, just like Conor McGregor. And I think Justin Gaethje, he's a walking punchy bag. I mean, yeah, he has good pressure. He's a fan favorite. He has good weight kicks, but that style is not going to last. And I mean, Dustin Poirier, he's a brawler, but he has been fighting more technical lately. I think he has his best performance versus Anthony Pettis. I mean, he didn't even get hurt, I don't think, one time in that fight. He looked very good. On the mat, yeah, people are saying, "Oh my God, Pettis almost tapped him out." I don't think. Come on, Dustin Poirier is, a good grappler. He knew what he was doing, and he made him quit. And I think he's gonna make Justin Gaethje quit here, man. I just don't think Gaethje's style, like I mentioned, is gonna be up to the task. And yeah, man, he has good weight kicks, but I do think that Eddie Alvarez is winning that fight. He won the first 2 rounds. I know that he had some success in the weight kicks, and Jim Miller, has some success with the weight kicks versus Dustin Poirier, but Dustin's not stupid. I mean, Dustin, I think has the better wrestling. I mean, yeah, Justin's a D1 wrestler, but I mean, Dustin's the better grappler in my opinion. And I mean, I think Dustin could put him on his ass and work him on the mat, but on the feet, I think his boxing's better. I think he has the better chin. You can make a case for Dustin as not the best chin. I mean, he's been knocked out twice, and he's been hurt in fights, but Gaethje's taken way more damage in my opinion than Dustin Poirier. And I think I'll be a little worried if Dustin brawls, because he's probably going to brawl. But, I mean, I do think that he's going to win. And, just like we mentioned about the whole MMA math thing, Dustin Poirier was smoking Eddie Alvarez in that fight. I mean, smoking him. And then Eddie Alvarez, had those illegal knees. But before those illegal knees, I mean, Eddie Alvarez was about to get finished. I mean, I think that was Dustin's best fight, actually. I mean, besides the Pettis one. It sucks that, that ending of that, because Dustin was putting a beating on him. But I think Dustin, is a better fighter. I think he's better everywhere in this fight. I just, I hope, he just, fights a little smart, fights more technical than Justin. But yeah, I got Dustin in the distance, and I'm a big fan of Dustin. I'm pretty high on the guy too. I think that He's one of the best fighters in the division. And make no mistake about it. I mean, he's put away a lot of guys, man. I mean, he knocked out Carlos Diego Ferreira, Bobby Green. I mean, well, the lightweight move was definitely a big, he should have made it a long time ago. I mean, he has a very good record. He's lost to 2 dudes in the UFC division. Yeah, he's lost to, I think, it's Michael Johnson at 155, and then DP, or not DP, Conor McGregor. There's only 2 guys that finished him. But yeah, my read is just that he's more technical, and I think that, he's a smarter fighter, has a better chin, and I don't think Justin has the better chin. Oh, one thing I wanted to mention too is I don't think a lot of people are talking about this that are picking Justin, but Justin just got smoked in December. That's like 4 months ago. I think that he should have took, at least a year off. I mean, that was a terrible knockout. I mean, he got put down. He was out cold, man. I mean, he gets hurt every fight, man, but that was bad, man. I mean, I think Justin could actually knock him out, man, in the first round. I think Justin could hurt him, man, like right out the gate in the fight. So, yeah, but a lot of people are not really talking about, oh, well, what about Justin getting smoked, or they're not talking about Justin getting smoked in December. But that's another read right there. So, yeah, I got DP if I finish. So to recap my bets, I got 3 units on DP in the distance, 3 units Tim Boetsch, 2 units Vettori, and 3 units Mueller. And then you just have Cowboy, right?
Yeah.
All right. Before we go, DraftKings plays. I like obviously all my bets. I like Bhullar for sure. I think he's gonna go out there and get a dominant decision. Actually, no, I think he's gonna finish him actually. But yeah, underdogs obviously. All the dogs I have, and I'm staying away from. I don't know, man. I think I'm gonna stay away from the Courtney Casey fight and Michelle Waterson and the Patrick Williams fight and Bruce Sanders. But all right, guys, we'll be back next week for Atlantic City. Kevin Lee versus Barbosa. It's a pretty good card, and there's some potential bets I like on there. So later, guys. I hope you guys cash this weekend.
Peace.